Welcome, and here we go again. Now today I'm here to talk about Doctor Who again, because I'm aware that it's been a while since I've done a proper Doctor Who discussion-y video. I started a series of videos a couple of weeks ago, which was Rank the Series. So today we're going to do Rank the Series Part 2. Which means today we're going to be looking at the Patrick Troughton series. So that's everything from Series 4 to Series 6. And we're going to be putting them on the Who meter. And we're going to be ranking them out of 10. And then I'll be ranking them from worst to best. So, a bit harsh maybe, but I don't know. So it's going to be an interesting video. Yes, so a lot of Doctor Who stuff going on at the moment is not true. That's not a true statement. I don't know what's going on with me today. I seem to have muddled things up there a bit, but just ignore that. Just ignore that. Anyway, let's get on to the main gist of the video. Today, Patrick Troughton series. So let's start with Series 4. Series 4 is Patrick Troughton's first series, and it's also got a bit of William Hartnell's final series as well. So it starts off with the Smugglers, which is William Hartnell's penultimate story, and then Hartnell leaves in the following story, The 10th Planet. And then we lead into Power of the Daleks, which is Patrick Troughton's opener. So this is a blend of Doctors, this series. That's quite interesting. However, all episodes from this series have at least one episode missing out of them, which means there are no... There are no full Doctor Who stories in this season. So that's so sad, because there's quite a lot of them in this series. There's like 9 or 10. And all of them are, missing, and that's so sad, because there's so many stories in here that are so great and I'd love to see, but we're never going to get to. For example, Evil of the Daleks. I'd love to see that. Faceless Ones, the Macra Terror, the Highlanders. I'd just love to see these stories in full. Power of the Daleks I would like to see in its proper form. I love the animation, but still I would love to see the actual form of it. Patrick Troughton is wonderful as the Doctor and develops the idea of the Time Lord and the character. And it's a really interesting series because it develops the show to its true potential, and I think it develops it to what we know now. Ben and Polly are quite good companions, I think. I really like them. And Jamie, of course, is one of the best in Doctor Who history, in my opinion. So let's move over to the Who meter and rank it out of 10. So, as you can see over here, if you can see it, I don't know, Series 1 I've ranked a 7, Series 2 I've ranked a 6, and then I've ranked Series 3 a 6 as well. Where does Series 4 sit? Well, I'm going to say it's going to rank as a 7, like Series 1, because it is very good, or at least most of it's good that I've seen, and, there's some brilliant stories. The best story in there, I would have to say Power of the Daleks is probably the second best Dalek story in Doctor Who history, just behind Genesis of the Daleks, perhaps the best story in Doctor Who history. And I think it's just such a wonderful episode, so it's brilliant. Series 5 then, I'm going to say... I like Series 5. I think it's possibly the strongest series so far. It's got some brilliant episodes. I think Victoria is a companion that's really grown on me. Jamie gets developed as a really great companion and gets to shine through in this. Patrick Troughton, of course, is developed as the Doctor. There's some really brilliant stories. There's some classics, some of the best in Who history. Tomb of the Cybermen, Enemy of the World, and The Web of Fear are some of the best in Who history. And there's a couple of stories I'd like to see in there full as well that are missing. Patrick Troughton had a lot of missing stories. Abominable Snowmen, that would be brilliant to watch. And Fury from the Deep would be fantastic to watch. I'd quite like to watch Wheel in Space, although it's deemed as not that great. I have seen parts 3 and 6, which are the surviving parts. Looks okay. doesn't look more than that, and I think now I've watched parts 3 and 6, I don't really want... I do want it here, because any missing Doctor Who story that comes back, apart from maybe the Space Pirates, is loved, should be loved, and I think this story it deserves to come back. So yeah, it's a fantastic series. I think it's better than Series 4, and probably all of the series so far. So what would I give it out of 10? Well, I would have to say... an 8, I think. So that means that's a bit higher there. So an 8 out of 10 compared to 6s and 7s in the rest of it. So Series 6. Series 6 is Patrick Troughton's final series as the Doctor, and again has got some wonderful stories. However, it's also got some really weak ones, I think. Wendy Padbury is brilliant as Zoe. I think she's really great, and a really strong female companion. There's some weaker ones like the Dominators and the Space Pirates and the Crotons in there, which, you know, the Crotons isn't... No, let's not say the Crotons. The Dominators and the Space Pirates, which are referred to as two of the worst Doctor Who stories of all time, particularly the Dominators, which is not that great at all. There's also some really great stories in here. The Invasion is... I think the school will be hired mainly on 2 stories in this series. The Invasion is fantastic. It's phenomenal. It's such a brilliant epic 8-parter. And the War Games is perhaps in the top 5. Maybe the top 5 Doctor Who stories of all time. It's so fantastic. It's a 10-parter. Patrick Troughton's final story. It's wonderful. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. Oh, it's fantastic. So I think the score of this series will be hired mainly due to those episodes. The strongest episode has to be... I mean, the previous series, sorry, I failed to say. Probably Tomb of the Cybermen is the best episode. Enemy of the World comes very, very close, though, because Enemy of the World is one of those dark horses, one I didn't expect to be very good, and it doesn't get the praise it deserves. It's a fantastic one. So let's... and the best episode of this series is the War Games. Let's move over to the Who Meter to see what it gets out of 10. So then, how I would rank this series out of 10, it's a very... It's a 7, I think. So it's a very low 7, because I think there's some weak ones in there, and there's some weak things about this series. It's on about the same level as Series 4, but because of those 2 brilliant stories in there, it's a 7. Yes, it deserves a 7. There you go. It's a hard series to rate. So that means that the first series... what am I saying? Yeah, I am saying that. The first series of Patrick Troughton, Series 4, is the worst series at number 3, and then Series 6 is at number 2, and Series 5 is steaming ahead at number 1, out of Patrick Troughton and William Hartnell. So that's the 60s done, we're into the 70s next, and we're on to John Pertwee. I was thinking about doing it in 2 halves, but it'll probably just be a longer video, I think. So thank you for tuning in today. I will see you next time, same space. Goodbye!